Hey everybody, welcome to Average Guy Opinions. I'm your average guy, John Corelli. I hate this shirt. It rides up on me. I don't like it. It looks like I'm trying to show off biceps I don't have. Episode 174. I'll talk more about my father because this is going to be I'm just getting into a summer with him that's going to be probably pretty crazy. For those of you that have not, I don't know why my hair is doing that. But for those of you who have not been regular watchers of this channel and these videos, I'm dealing with my father. He's 74 years old. He's been smoking for 60 years since he was 14, and he's on oxygen. He just beat lung cancer somehow, and but he's got 20% lung capacity. He's been on oxygen for about, let's say, about 5 years, and is completely in denial that smoking is the reason he's you know, why he can't breathe, why his heart and lungs are in garbage condition, why he can barely do anything or have any energy. He's in complete denial. Like this morning, talked to him. He said, "No, actually, this is last night. Last night he really sounded bad. I was actually pretty worried." And and by the way, this is just basically what I'm talking about. Is this summer is me getting him into a nursing home in the next month and a half, 2 months, because once I start work again on August 9th, go back to school, he will. I won't be able to help him at the level I can help him now. But yeah, so go back to last night. I called him just to check because I was supposed to take him to. I was supposed to see him today just to get some work done in his house. He's hoarded a lot, and we're trying to get rid of some of that stuff. And unfortunately, he's the worst type of hoarder and thinks he still needs this stuff, even though he's going to a place where he can take almost none of this stuff. He's going to hopefully Little Sisters of the Poor, which is a Catholic charitable organization that will take him. Hopefully, will take him. So far, it hasn't been clarified whether they will. So we're also looking at Plan Bs as to who can take him. He's working on that. I give him a lot of credit for working on getting himself into a place where he can live. Things I don't give him credit for are continuing to smoke while he's on oxygen, being pretty rotten to his current wife, and he probably wouldn't be in this mess if he had just treated her well the last 20 to 30 years. He's got some issues. He's not treating me and my kids that well either. And I told him, I was frank with him. I said, we're the last people you got. You understand this? So if you treat us like garbage, and we just decide to walk away, that's an option for us. I don't feel like I owe you anything. I'm just being a good son, loyal son, okay? And you were a mediocre father, and you still are, because he's just not a nice person. He's a miserable man, and it's sad, but it is what it is. So, but yeah, back to last night, he sounded, he already sounds gravelly because of all the years of smoking on his throat and his larynx and his lungs. And today, or last night, he just sounded really bad. I was like, "Oh man, you sound terrible." He's like, "I know." I go, "I think it's the air. There's something in the air. It's this hot weather." And I'm like, that may be exacerbating what's going on. Isn't it the 60 years of smoking? And I've only called him on it once, when he was bitching about his lungs and saying all these other things it could be. I go, "It's the smoking, Dad." And he looked wounded when I said that. Because there must be a personal responsibility there that he is not willing to deal with. I would say ready, but if he hasn't dealt with it now, he never will. So he really looked hurt when I said that. And I was just like, "Are you kidding me? We know what smoking does to people. You're lucky it hasn't killed you yet." I've been smoking literally since 1961, I think. It's been 60 years. It's been a long time. It's been a lot. I think he averaged about 2 packs a day for the big chunk of that time. A lot of money wasted, and a lot of health removed. A lot of life taken away because he's not. I'll be surprised honestly if he makes it through this year. I honestly am kind of hoping he kind of just ends. I hate to say that, but he's not happy. He's in discomfort a big part of the time. It's time to call it a life. You're not going to go and run any marathons or climb any 14ers at this point in your life. Hell, I'm not, and I'm in way better shape than he is. So yesterday I had to take him to National Jewish, which is a respiratory health center. It's pretty much world-renowned. They've been in Denver since 1899. They started off as specializing in treating tuberculosis, which was good. This was a good place to do it. Apparently, altitude, as many of you know, Denver's the mile-high city, so having the thinner air and the drier air helped a lot of people with their tuberculosis issues, and then from ever since then they've been big into lung and heart health. Any respiratory issues, you go there, and he goes there. And yesterday, I was with my 16-year-old. I am paying him to help help my dad, even though I'm not getting paid. I rarely even get a lunch. I go over there. I feel like I should at least get, me and my kids should at least get a meal to help him do this and do this. It's a grind, because like I said, he micromanages everything, even at like a closet full of towels. I'm like, let me get these organized so you can go through them faster. He's like, no. I was like, and then that one I was like, no, I'm organizing this, whether you like it or not. I'm not going to take anything, but this is going to be more organized. So when we do get through to this part of the house, we can get through it faster. I filled up a like a lawn-sized trash bag full of other bags, full of other plastic bags. It's insane. And I've seen it before. I've seen it with each of my grandmothers on my mom's and my dad's side, big-time hoarders. I think they have a little more of an excuse because they were products of the Depression, and so they held on to shit because they were worried that another depression might come, which is that's fair, and my dad saw that probably, and it imprinted on him, and I get it to an extent. But now at this point, it's like, dude, if you haven't sold it or gotten rid of it, you have like 7 weeks. We have no time to fuck around anymore. We have to get you into that nursing home, and we have to get rid of this stuff, because his wife has moved. She has bought a house, or she hasn't moved yet, but she has bought a house in New York, where she's originally from as well, just like my father. And most of her family lives in upstate New York in farm country. And she has bought a house up there, and she has sold the house that they are currently in. And she's actually being a really good sport about everything. She's been as helpful as my father will allow her to be. And he's got till like August 24th, I think, to get out. And I told him the 9th because, like I said, I can't help him. I mean, Logan can't either. We're back to school. So let's get back to National Jewish. That was yesterday. Took him down there. He had written on his calendar that he wrote 9:30 and 10:30. I go, so your appointments are at 9:30 and 10:30. He's like, yes. I was like, okay, well, I'll be here around 8:45, 9 o'clock to get you down there. He's like, okay. He calls me on the phone, tells me, oh, it's actually 10 and 11. I go, are you sure? He's like, yeah. I go, well, you have 9:30 and 10:30 written on your calendar. And he's like, well, I wrote that down for when I need to leave. And I'm like, that's when I need to leave. I go, people generally don't do that. They put down the actual time of the appointment on their calendar. They don't put when you got to leave. I go, let's get down there at 9:30 anyway. He's like, no. Showed up at 10. What a shock. The appointment was at 9:30. So they took him in, which was actually pretty generous of them, but then they couldn't handle him for the 10:30 appointment because it was already past 11. So now we got to make another appointment because he's not on top of this stuff. I think his mind is going a little bit. I mean, I think about it. I'm sure smoking's not good for your brain. If it's bad for your blood movement and your pulmonary and your breathing and your oxygen in your body, it's all that supports the brain, does it not? So I think he is starting to lose it a little bit. Wouldn't call it dementia, but he's definitely forgetting things a lot, and he just doesn't want to listen to common sense. So there we go with that. Little funny moment, a couple funny moments from yesterday, and then I'll end this. We're pulling into National Jewish, and he goes, "Okay, before you bring me to the front door, stop in this parking spot. I need a couple hits." I thought he meant like from his oxygen, like he was going to take a couple, or take a couple deep breaths on the oxygen. No, he meant cigarettes. I was like, oh shit, you're that guy. You're the guy that smokes on oxygen. And I didn't. And Logan's like, you didn't think he meant cigarettes? And I was like, I guess that's how stupid I am. But so he smokes like half a cigarette. We go in, take care of business, or try to. Logan and I sit there for like 2 hours. He gets in there. As soon as we get in there, they have a person that pretty much meets and greets you and tries to help you along your way. And she was a nice looking lady, probably around 30 at the most. And my dad's just like, wow, I didn't know they hired supermodels here. I'm like, oh Jesus, I'm just face palming, pushing him in a wheelchair, going, Jesus. He goes, no, really, John, look at her. I go, yeah, she's beautiful. Dad, we got people behind us. I go, yes, you're very beautiful. Where does he need to go? I give him her name and his birth date, and she sends us on our way. He's like, geez, John, you could have let me talk to her. I go, Dad, and this is the problem with my father, is the hypocrisy. He is an extremely impatient person when he's in a line or has to wait behind somebody, but would get mad at himself. He would get mad at the guy in front of him who's like talking and doesn't seem to understand there are people in the line behind. I'm like, Dad, there are people in this line behind us. We need to go. Yeah, I'm going to go a little long on this one, just to add one more thing that happened. So after this, we went to lunch. Because, oh, and by the way, I'm paying Logan. That's why I don't know if I made that clear, but I'm paying Dante and Logan when they come with me. And this is like a mental health payment. I'm like, I'm paying you, because you guys can help me sometimes physically with the boxes and stuff that needs to be moved and donated and taken to wherever. But honestly, I'm paying you guys because yeah, I need to bitch at you guys and chirp at you guys sometimes. Not meanly, but just bitch about my father to you. I know that's not a nice thing to say, but it's the truth. And so I go, this is my way of paying for my mental health when I bitch to you. But we went to Chipotle, and I'm like, Dad, you want to get anything at Chipotle? Or I go, oh, do you want anything? And I go, we don't have to go to Chipotle. Logan and I are going there. We're going to go somewhere else. He goes, I don't want anything from fucking Chipotle, that's for sure. I go, I didn't ask you what you didn't want. I asked you what you wanted. Just be a reasonable human being, Dad. Okay, we're up to 11 minutes. I'll see you guys next time for some more bitching, for some more something else. All right, bye.